Hey, how's it going, everybody? Got another Pokemon Emerald Battle Frontier update. Gonna be chatting about the last few weeks and things that I've accomplished and things that I will be doing moving forward. We will have a section later in the video discussing some comments people had, but I do really want to address one major concern with one of them that was brought up with me. So as you guys know, I do use the Analog Pocket as my main device right now playing the games. Someone else actually emailed me saying that they bought an Analog Pocket, and when they were playing on their Fire Red game, it actually deleted their save file. Now, prior to this, I did know, or I have heard of rumors that this has happened to people. However, I've never had someone specifically tell me that it has happened to them. So this person bought the Analog Pocket, played the game, and their Fire Red save file is gone. So I just wanted to bring up that if there are other people that this has had happen to them, definitely let me know below, or let everyone know below, because if this is a more common thing that has happened or is happening, then that is very, very concerning, especially if people don't back up their save files and things like that. But regardless, it shouldn't happen to begin with. But I did want to bring this up with the community and just get some more information, because that is incredibly concerning if it's deleting save files. We will discuss more comments in a bit, but let's go on to some of the things that have happened in my game. So I did play the Battle Dome a little bit. I did get a new personal best. I got past round 6, so I was into round 7 about halfway, and yeah, I wasn't able to defeat this one person. I don't remember exactly what happened in the game, but I do know that eventually a Slowbro, the opponent sent out a Slowbro, and I thought I would have had that Pokemon completely settled down, but Slowbro ended up wiping my Tyranitar with Surf, and I think my Tyranitar was already at pretty low health. Then I sent out Dusclops, which is my last Pokemon, and Slowbro had Psychic, and it ended up lowering my Dusclops' special defense, and my Dusclops just couldn't do enough damage. We had a Toxic going, I had a Rest going as well, and Sandstorm, Toxic were all doing damage, but it just that little bit of special defense loss really that lost me the game. Wasn't able to recover from that. But anyway, we'll come back at it with another attempt. So right now I am in the Battle Tower. I am at my highest point. I just completed the 6th floor, so I'm 42 wins in. I need to get to 70 to get the gold medal, or at least have the attempt of doing so. I did defeat Annabelle, which is the 35th win or something like that. That match was actually pretty easy. I will play that in the background as we're discussing this. I mean, actually, I wouldn't say easy, but it wasn't. I wasn't stressed out, I guess is the best way to put it. It felt like my Pokemon were able to take on that team quite comfortably. I definitely have seen a big improvement in my team, swapping out the Aggron for Tyranitar. Again, it's not necessarily Aggron's fault. I had to train it differently and not focus on just attack and HP or whatever. I needed to put a little bit more bulk into the special defense because of how low Aggron's base stat is. But with Tyranitar, it's definitely been a lot smoother, and as you can see with this run, I'm not facing as many of these challenges that I've had with the other team. So moving forward though, with the Battle Tower, I do intend on recording some of these matches. I'm going to say live, but they're not necessarily live. It's just going to be me talking over the actual gameplay, as opposed to talking about it after the fact. Maybe soon I'll do live streams where I could play the Battle Frontier, live with everybody, but right now it's just very hard to find specific dedicated time and everything like that. So in the near future, I'm going to be just still doing this style of content. Now moving to these next several floors of the Battle Tower, it's going to be more challenging than the previous. The Pokemon are a little bit harder, and the teams are a little bit more, I guess, spooky is the best way to put it. So I had an incredibly interesting battle on the 6th floor. I'm going to try and be concise with this and not just ramble on. But so one of the teams had, I don't even remember the first 2 Pokemon, but they had a Blissey as their last Pokemon. Whatever the first 2 Pokemon were wiped out my Salamence. Dusclops cleaned up the other one, and then it was Dusclops versus Blissey. And I forgot I had Tyranitar. This is the funny part of it, but I forgot I had Tyranitar. I thought Tyranitar already got wiped out. So I just thought it was me versus Blissey, or Dusclops versus Blissey. And all of Blissey's moves couldn't hit Dusclops, and all of Dusclops' moves couldn't hit Blissey. Just as a reminder though, Dusclops has Toxic, Nightshade, Rest, and Confuse Ray, and Blissey had Attract, Sing, Seismic Toss, and Substitute. Now, obviously you're probably thinking, Dusclops has moves that can hit the Blissey, but Blissey opened up with Substitute, and I did not know at the time, but you can't Confuse Ray or Toxic a Pokemon with Substitute. So I was like, what's going on? I was like, okay, if we end up going to a struggle battle, which we will, then I will win, or I should win, because of Dusclops' pressure ability. However, Blissey did end up going into struggle, and it was doing like no damage. It was like 1/32 of the health. So I was like, what is going on? And we all both had leftovers, so this was just becoming like what is going on here? So I thought I soft locked myself, and then I was looking at the match, and I'm like, where's my sandstorm ability? So after, I think it took like 10-15 minutes, not even exaggerating, to get to the struggle point, I realized I had Tyranitar still. So, and the Blissey was still in substitute, so I was kind of hoping that Blissey would do enough damage with struggle that the substitute would disappear. That didn't really happen. I remembered I had Tyranitar, sent out Tyranitar, removed the struggle, got Dusclops back in, toxic the Pokemon, and then I sent out Tyranitar again, then we ended up winning. Anyway, that was like a 25-minute match, not even exaggerating. And it was me being dumb, and also I learned a lot about struggle in Gen 3. They didn't fix that, I think, until Gen 4, Gen 5, where struggle does like a fourth of the health. Yeah, but that was something else. So I did make some minor changes to my Pokemon team. So I did end up swapping Will-O-Wisp with Toxic for Dusclops. I think Toxic is just a much better move. If a Pokemon has the Shell Bell or leftovers, and you also have Will-O-Wisp on them, it just doesn't do enough, and you really need that Toxic to do more damage to, because obviously it does more damage each turn, so that's pretty critical. Will-O-Wisp being able to lower, if you do burn, if Will-O-Wisp's ability to lower the physical attack is really handy, but unfortunately it's not handy enough when you compare it to Toxic. So that is ultimately why I switched. So some of the things are, my Milotic and Kingdra are giving me a lot of problems. Like, they are just hard Pokemon to deal with, and I unfortunately have to deal with them with Dusclops. And Dusclops, again, does do a pretty good job with this, but these Pokemon are very different. Like, I keep scraping by every time I see a Milotic and Kingdra. And if they're both on the same team, I don't even know if I could defeat that, because I don't think Dusclops could take them both. Tyranitar does have Thunderbolt, which again it affects my Milotic, but man, if my Milotic hits that Hydro Pump, man, it's a rough day for Tyranitar. He could take one, but two, no. And Kingdra is just a problem. I think you're looking back at the last few weeks and even like month, I've been making a lot of dumb decisions that are preventing me from, I guess, winning. I mean, now that I have identified this, I have been taking more care with the decisions I make, especially at these higher rounds, and not really taking risks that I don't need to take. So I will typically send out Dusclops in unknown situations and try to get a feel for the moves or kind of what's going on, as opposed to just shotgunning Salamence or even T-Tar out. These matches are taking a lot longer, however, the chances of me winning have increased because I'm just not taking risks that shouldn't be taken. For both the Battle Dome and Battle Tower, sending out Dusclops first in almost every situation has improved my chances of winning, because again, I'm getting that information. I'm not putting Salamence or Tyranitar in a position where they're going to get eaten like half their health. Having Dusclops out at least gives me the ability to start the game off in a known configuration, and then see more pathways or something where I can make a better decision moving forward with the next Pokemon that I send out. But yeah, I think having this will be in like a whole tip video, I think, in the future, but just having a Pokemon that can take a bunch of hits and kind of set up for the remainder of the battle, I think is kind of needed on a team. But again, I digress. I do want to go back and address some of the comments that have been reappearing in a lot of these videos. So a lot of people are like, why special attacking Tyranitar? And I know I've been getting a lot of questions, but I thought I addressed this in a previous video with the Tyranitar, but maybe I didn't do a good enough job. So I'll kind of try and answer that here, especially now that I've had almost a few weeks, maybe even a month of using the Tyranitar. Again, I'm not saying this is like the best decision I've ever had. I'm just saying this is what I did and this is why. The main reason why I decided on a Tyranitar is because it's one of my favorite Pokemon. Again, we're getting back to, I wanted to use Pokemon that I love going into the Battle Frontier to try and see if I can win, again, with my favorites. So that was one of the reasons why I selected Tyranitar. The reason why I decided on a special attacking, specifically not a physical, is because Salamence already fulfilled the role of a physical attacking Pokemon. And I didn't want to have, obviously, two physical attacking. I wanted to cover a wider variety of weaknesses with a special attacking Pokemon. Tyranitar's base attack stat is 134, special attack is 95. It's kind of obvious if you're going to train one, you probably should go with the physical attacking. However, 95 special attack is still pretty good relative to a lot of Pokemon. Also, the moves Tyranitar is able to learn are great. Again, we got Ice Beam on him, Flamethrower, Thunderbolt, and Crunch. Crunch does have Stab. So all these are special attacking, and all of them are on Tyranitar. Like, that's pretty cool. 95 special attack or base special attack with a lot of, I guess, versatility. Yeah, I guess versatility in the move pool. So to me, that sounded pretty usable. Tyranitar also has pretty high defense stats, or pretty medium, I guess. HP is 100, defense is 110, special defense is 100. Overall, pretty bulky Pokemon. It could take a couple hits here and there. And again, I did train this Tyranitar not to one-shot Pokemon, so we didn't max out the special attack or anything like that. We focused a little bit on the special attack, but a little bit, or I'd say a lot more on the bulk of it. So this is a bulkier Tyranitar that has a lot of different moves that can be super effective against various different Pokemon, and also cover that special attack area that my team already lacked. Also, we got to talk about Sandstream. Sandstream is great against negating like Shell Bells and Leftovers. It's still going to do the damage. It also stays the entire match, and this is also a great thing for Dusclops. This is another way to kind of stall Pokemon out. I mean, Dusclops also runs Leftovers, but if we have Leftovers and Sandstream out, basically when Sandstream's out, Dusclops is still a hero. It just allows the other Pokemon to kind of take a lot more damage, and Dusclops doesn't really lose that much, again, because of Leftovers, but doesn't really gain health either. That can kind of be said for no matter what kind of Tyranitar you build or design. It's just the Sandstream is going to be there regardless of the stats that you train in Tyranitar. I guess lastly too, kind of pulling all that information together, is having a Tyranitar that's kind of bulky, that use a Flamethrower, Ice Beam, all that stuff is pretty cool. I don't know. It just, to me, that sounds awesome. So kind of wrapping it all together, those are all the reasons that have led me to, okay, I'm going to train a special attack in Tyranitar. It just also fits well with the team, right? Like, I wouldn't use a special attack in Tyranitar in a sense if I had like a different special attacker, but you know, like maybe Starmie or something. But again, I don't love Starmie, so I'm not going to throw Starmie on my team if I'm trying to win with my favorite Pokemon. But if I'm trying to get like super high world record or something, Starmie's probably one of the better options. But yeah, hopefully that is the long-winded answer of why special attack in Tyranitar. Again, it's probably not the best idea, but it's the idea, and those are kind of all the reasons why. Now, there are obviously cons with raising this Pokemon or using this Pokemon, and I do want to address one of them, and that is Tyranitar's speed's quite slow. Yes, Tyranitar could take a hit or two, and it could also hit back once or twice, but typically you're not really going to be able to survive 3 moves, especially if it's super effective, or the move is super effective against Tyranitar. So there is this weird situation where, yes, it's tanky, and yes, the idea sounds great on paper, but in actual practice, there's a lot of times where it just doesn't work out. The item that I decided to run is a Quick Claw. Now, obviously, it doesn't, I wouldn't say this is the best item, but typically it's good to get that first hit sometimes. Yeah, major con, Tyranitar is not fast enough to attack first in a lot of situations, and it does usually die to 2, typically 3 though moves that are super effective. That's just some things that I've learned. I've obviously learned a lot of other things, but I don't want the whole video to be only on Tyranitar. But yeah, that is why I'm using Tyranitar and my rationale behind it. Moving on to another comment, someone brought up a Discord, you know, having a place where everyone could chat and share their stuff and everything like that. I'm going to admit again that I am awful at Discords. Like, managing Discords, communicating with people in Discords, I'm terrible at it. I've had about 4 unsuccessful YouTube Discords in my career, and they have, again, all been bad. So I don't really, I understand the not urgency, but the want or desire for everyone to participate in one of these Discords. But I know if I make one, it'll just be sad. So I'm just going to leave it at that. I'm not saying I'm not going to make a Discord, but I'm also acknowledging that if I did make one, it would be pretty bad, and I don't want to let people down. So I'll do some thinking on that. Someone did mention that they did make a subreddit, and I think a Reddit post or page is actually probably a great idea. I personally do not want to manage the page or anything like that, but I will promote it in a sense, you know, not like hype it up or anything, but just say, hey, this is a place people want to go to post stuff about the games. I know there's probably already subreddits on there. However, if we wanted to cater it, or if the person that owns the page wanted to cater it to something more specific within Gen 3, then maybe that's a good idea to do so. I don't have a problem with someone creating a Reddit page and wanting me to kind of promote it, or at least even myself post on that page. I mean, I kind of already do on YouTube, but it'd be nice to maybe put it in some written form as well. But yeah, me personally, I don't, again, want to make something because I don't want to disappoint people by not using it, if that makes sense. But yeah, those are kind of my thoughts on that topic. Another comment is about fixing dry batteries. I'm going to make a video on this real soon. I got to actually replace mine. I've been slacking, and I also did realize I did do it, I'm not going to say wrong, but probably not in the best way replacing it last time. So going to make a video about that in the near future. Last comment we'll address is, can you do XXX videos in Gen 3? So you guys want the EV training, like the IV breeding, like all this other guides and stuff. I mean, there are a lot of videos already on YouTube, but I mean, I would love to make them as well and kind of put my spin on it. But right now I need to focus, or I need to convince myself that I need to focus on just the Gen 3 games, because if I start splitting my attention doing Gen 4, Gen 3, I'm gonna accomplish like nothing, and I would like to really dedicate this time of my life to getting the gold medals in Gen 3, and kind of doing the best I can in that. So Gen 4 videos will be coming, like, don't get me wrong. It might not be for another year or so, like this is, again, I think bigger picture. I don't know how long this Emerald journey is going to take, but I don't want to start interjecting a lot of other things that are going to be very time committed into my life, I guess. So right now, just focusing on Gen 3 games, but Gen 4 videos will eventually come. Food for thought, though, for Gen 4. So right now, I have a lot of hours in one of the games, I think Soul Silver. I did restart my Platinum Adventure, and I'm Shiny Hunting Giratina, but I haven't done that in probably 3 years. I don't know what I want to do, but I want to hear your input. I have started the Shiny, or started the Living Dex in Soul Silver too. Like, I have so many hours, but this would be a great time to, I don't even know if I want to say it, but delete the save files and restart everything from scratch and make videos on it. Because when I started the Soul Silver journey or Heart Gold, like that, the Gen 4 adventure, I didn't really have it with the same intentions as I did with the Gen 3 games. So I think it would be, and now that, you know, people seem to be enjoying some of these videos, I think it would be a wonderful time to restart all the games and make videos on that and share that with everybody. That's gonna be like another 10-year something journey, maybe even more if I'm making a lot more videos for it. Kind of similar again to Gen 3. I think it would be a great idea. It's a lot of work, and I don't know what 10 years down the road is gonna look like, but I guess you can't really focus on that, you know. Just if you make a decision to restart the game and document it, just go with it. But again, I'm like completed in those games, so either restart everything, start from scratch, enjoy the whole experience all again with everybody, or I can pick up where I left off, and I would really have to do the Pokedex, and we can start IV and EV training in the Battle Frontier, or for a team for the Battle Frontier. I don't know if I want to do that. I would rather, it sounds dumb, I'd rather restart the whole game all over again and then get to that point than just get to that point. Because I haven't played those games in so long. It would be nice to experience them all again with the goal from the start. Big decision. That's a big decision, but definitely before any save files are deleted, I do want to make some videos. I definitely should do that, like videos on EV training and IV breeding, now that I have that I have like the end game set, so I can actually make videos. If I restart the game, it's gonna be kind of hard to do that because I'm not gonna have access to a lot of areas and a lot of places. But yeah, definitely food for thought. Just let me know about that. Again, that's a big decision. I think when I come to that point, I'm gonna have to really sit down and say, hey, what do I want to do? But having some of your guys' thoughts and everything is maybe helpful, or will be helpful for that decision. Last thing though is moving forward. Again, still gonna try and get this the Battle Tower gold medal. I just gotta be smart. I gotta stay focused and be patient with each match and not take risks that I don't need to take. After that, still want to go to the Battle Dome and Battle Factory. I think they'll save the other ones for a little bit, the other brain trust places, whatever they call it. But yeah, gonna keep doing that. I love training Pokemon. I know we just trained like all these Pokemon, but I do want to train a Steelix like badly. So I want to train it with Explosion. This is going to take up Salamance's spot. I love Steelix too. That is one of the main reasons why, again, I'm adding it to the team. Such a cool Pokemon. Yeah, again, I love the Battle Frontier. It's fun to play, but I think I like training the Pokemon even more. I don't know how to explain it, and I'm itching to train another one. So this Steelix, I probably won't do this for a little while, actually. Maybe next month. So the goal for the Steelix is ultimately going to replace Salamence. So the move, it's still going to be a physical attacker, so we're going to have Earthquake, Rock Slide on it, which is similar to what Salamence had. We're going to have Explosion and then Roar. So Salamence right now has same thing, Earthquake, Rock Slide, Brick Break, and what's the last? Aerial Ace. Now, Explosion is going to take the place of Brick Break because any of these big wall Pokemon like Salamence, Blissey, Snorlax, Explosion should be able to take care of it. And Roar is going to be helpful in if these Pokemon do set up like with double teams, curses, I can get rid of it. This is also a great Pokemon to have to get more information on what the opponent's Pokemon are, so I can kind of plan ahead and strategize. Also, the benefit of Steelix is it's not weak to ice, and it's not 4 times weak to ice, because Salamence, that weakness is lethal. Like, there's so many matches where these Pokemon just have ice types, and it doesn't even matter if the Pokemon does a lot of damage or has like a high special attack stat. It's just Salamence is so weak to it, and Salamence just cannot take these ice attacks, and it's prevalent through the entire Battle Frontier. And that's one, if I had to make a recommendation, if you're like, I love Salamence though, and I want to use it on a team, great. Just understand that you need to be able to deal with ice moves or not have other weaknesses on your team to ice. But yeah, it's brutal out there. There's so many icy winds and ice beams. But yeah, that's my intentions in the near future. Play Battle Frontier or do the Battle Frontier challenges, and then probably train the Steelix. Depending on how good or bad I do in the Battle Frontier, or like more specifically the Battle Tower and Battle Dome, I am probably going to take some time off of grinding this Battle Frontier stuff and then restart that Emerald game that I talked about, or that I bought maybe a month or so ago. I don't even remember. I'm really looking forward to just replaying Emerald for the first time again in like 9 years, something like that, 8-9 years. I'm obviously going to document and make some videos on that adventure as well. Again, it's going to be chill. I'm not going to make any world records or anything. Hearing everybody in the comments talk about their new adventures they're starting, it's just, man, it makes me itch. I'm just like, oh, I need to start a new game. It's been so long. So I think just going through that would be fun, and it'll be a nice mental break from all the not even hard grinding, I should say, but the more mentally challenging, taxing breeding process and battling. It definitely gets to you after a little while, but I think this will be a nice, good detox while still enjoying the games. That'll probably be next month or the month after that. We're just going to be playing that a little bit. So I've been doing the Battle Frontier, at least training and everything, for like, I don't even know actually. When was that first video released? So I posted that Aggron video 4 months ago. However, I did post a Ditto video where I was grinding to get Dittos 6 months ago. So it's probably been 7 months just about of just like, this is all I've been doing in Pokemon, is just trying to do the Battle Frontier. So chilling out, playing the game might be a lot of fun. But that is just about all I have for this video. Definitely stay tuned for some more updates and more Pokemon content. Really happy everybody's enjoying these videos. Take care, everybody. Hopefully you're enjoying your games and adventures. Stay tuned. See ya later.